Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. We've got access to new champions, including the new Fusion Epic and the new Fusion himself. So we're going to go through, check out the new champions, see what's dropping, and I just comment below, who would you like to see me using in like a guide? Would you like to see any of these in their own video? So I'd like to thank Watcher of Realms for sponsoring this video. If you've not already got involved, there will be a link down below that you can download the game from. I'll also link my YouTube channel, which is specifically about Watcher of Realms. It's a dedicated channel because I do love this game. So what's going on for Christmas then? We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming through. The Frostfall Jamboree is going to be in full flight. So we're going to have a new faction joining the game. The Supreme Arbiters are coming in. We've also got a first ever legendary fusion starting on the 15th. They're super chill in this game, and this is a legendary brand new hero, Alistair here. He's actually a mage with tons of true damage. So outside of that, they're bringing a whole ton of new events. They've got something called the Immortal Codex, which is dropping as well. They've also got this kind of like boss rush mode, which is going to be new for the festive season. There's tons of stuff coming into this game over December. So let's have a quick flick through. We got Gwendolyn joining as a guaranteed legendary summon event. And she's going to be a limited event, so exclusive just for this summoning. We have got a gold dragon pass where you can get a Hatsuit skin, as well as some juicy summons and stuff. We've got, for the event redemption shop for the Frostfall, more fragments for Alistair, as well as some summons and some reroll stuff for gear. We've got the ability to pick up a skin for Abomination. We've got the Odyssey of Dreams event going on, where you can earn yourself summoning crystals, stamina, 5-star chickens. There's going to be gear plundering where you get enhanced rates to get drops, plus reduction of stamina to get drops as well. There's so much going on. And then over the actual Christmas period, like 24th, 25th, they're doing guaranteed legendaries from the Infernal Blast faction, which is a super cool faction, actually. All 5 of these, with the question marks, are top tier. So watchers, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Make sure you download on my link if you want to get involved. What a cool game. Let's get back to it. Let's go in with the one we know about, Blizzard. Just checking there's not any more heroes here. So Blizzard, we didn't see his stats and stuff. Very high base defense, actually. 1432, 102 base speed as well, which is pretty solid. So this is the fusion. He's out tomorrow. I guess I do need to just do a bit of work with him and see how good he is in a hard finite team. So he does have the 3-hit freeze, which is a 50% chance. He does have the AoE freeze. He's kind of like Creodan meets Shiramani, I think, in my head. He's got some turn meter drop here. He's got an AoE freeze, which is quite cool. It gives you increased defense and ally protection, which is more like a clan boss type of set of buffs. Maybe useful in the new content as well, honestly. Maybe useful against that new boss, potentially. Ally protection seems to be a pretty solid way to go. And then he's got this passive here. Whenever an enemy tries to freeze him, instantly pushes it back to the enemy, which is quite nice. Might get some Bommel strats going because he's got this revive on death. He's got the freeze for the bomb. For the side bombs, means he's going to take less damage. And his affinity is not bad for Bommel. So could be a useful champion. I've said it already. I don't think he's like top tier. I think he's kind of like maybe A tier, you know, like a 3.5 out of 5 type of dude. But for a lot of people, he'll be a good carry and, you know, a good kind of like control unit. So won't be bad, but he's not going to be amazing. Let's have a look at the epic first that's going to make up this fusion. So you're going to need 4 Bovoses. Again, all spirit affinity. I hate it when they do this because it means you need a ton of spirit potions to get this fusion done, because you have to level these dudes up. Let's have a quick look at him. He's looking very regal. He looks like almost like a messenger to a like a king or something. I love this though. This is cool. Very cool, like that. Okay, so Bovos, we've got support epic. Okay, base stats, nothing too crazy going on. A1, attacks an enemy, 50% chance when booked of putting decreased speed on. Good for an A1. A2 then, AoE, decreased crit rate and crit damage. It's pretty solid as well, you know. 3-turn cooldown. Pretty solid. If you do that against PvE enemies, basically you will not take crits. So that's quite nice. And then an A3 here moves a debuff from allies, gives them increased crit rate and crit damage. Okay. On a 4-turn cooldown when booked. Passive heals an ally by 10% of their max HP when they hit with a crit. Kind of an interesting, almost counter synergy here, but I guess that's meant as a PvP skill. No, actually, not a bad epic, honestly. Not a bad epic at all. So he's going to be available if you don't want to go for Blizzard. We've got a new legendary. Check out this visual. Damn. Raid. Absolutely nailing it. Look at that. Look at the quality of that. Very, very cool. Okay. Gwendolyn the Silent. Kind of weird build for an owl dude or owl dudess. Kind of weird build, like chunky old, almost like calves rivaling my own. So we've got high speed, high base attack, actually, attack base unit here. Triple hitter, each hit chance to extend debuffs. All debuffs. Books to 50%. That's actually massive. A2 attacks all enemies, puts decreased speed and leech on all enemies, also puts decreased accuracy if they've got 2 or more debuffs. Wow, that's actually a really, really good skill as well. And the A3 attacks all enemies before attacking, puts increased accuracy on allies, books to 100% chance of stealing all block debuffs from all enemies. If at least one block debuffs was stolen, places block debuffs on all allies. I mean, that's a very specific skill, but it's quite interesting. It's not really like a... I suppose there are some bosses that do this, like factional bosses and stuff, but this feels more PvP. This champion's crit damage increases by 1% for every 10 points of accuracy that they've got. Grants an extra turn after this champion uses any 3 skills. It's a pretty interesting kit. Pretty good kit. We've got accuracy in all battles as well for 60. That's a decent legendary. If anyone picks that up, that's going to be a cool one. Okay, what else we got here? This is the Void one. Let's save that one till last. So other legendary that's coming in. Firul here. This is their festive ones. Damn. This one looks super sweet. The new Sylvan Watchers. Such a weird mix. Bells, a reef, and oh yeah, a bunch of skulls. Why not? Why not? It's almost like I've got antlers, but I'm Groot. And I've got mainly like more like a humanoid face. Look at those claws. You do not want to get in the way of this dude. Right. Firul the Barkhorn. Massive base defense, nearly 1500. 100 speed, good. Like, this is just massive tank stats. Attacks an enemy, 100% chance of putting decreased speed on. That's incredibly rare in the game, believe it or not. Even for legendaries, that's incredibly rare to see. That's actually very cool. If the target is a boss, we'll ignore 20% of their resistance. That's cool as well, okay. 20% can be like a massive number. When you think about some of these high-end bosses, 20% could be the equivalent of like needing 100 less accuracy or more. Boreal Growth attacks all enemies. Books to 100% chance of putting decreased accuracy and block buffs on them. If the target's a boss again, ignores 20% of their resistance on a 3-turn. That's incredibly good as well. And then we've got increased resistance on all allies on a 4-turn. And Perfect Veil on everyone except him. Kind of like hiding everyone else so that he becomes the focal point, a damage dealer. Of their damage dealer, sorry. Passive here as well. If an ally is under 2 or more buffs, ups their resistance by 50. If they're under 3 or more buffs, increases their accuracy by 50. And if an ally is under 4 or more buffs, increases their damage dealt by 20%. That's a really interesting champion. Good job, Raid, of still having imagination on some of these champs, because that's a really cool one. Really, really interesting. Increases ally resistance in all battles by 60 as well. I really like that kit. One of my faves for a long time, actually. Firul, very cool. Okay, then let's check out the Void Legendary. Final one here, a Night Rev. Carilon the Ringer. Known for his ringer shenanigans. Pretty sweet, like a sentinel-looking dude. This is what I like the little bits of detail like this. Absolutely love it. Ray do knock it out of the park. He's got his knee pads on. He's ready for battle. Okay. What's he? A support unit. Good base stats again. Very high speed. A1 is an AoE, so it's going to hit everybody. 50% chance, if booked, of decreasing the duration of all enemy buffs on an A1. Actually huge. A2 is another AoE hit. Puts out Hex, which we know is now an absolutely brilliant debuff, and weaken. If the target is under freeze, it could go on for 3 turns instead of 2 turns. 100% chance of putting it out there. And he does a freeze as well on a 3-turn cooldown. Fully defeats a turn meter of all enemies that receive freeze from this skill. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% for each freeze attempt blocked or resisted. Okay. What's this here? Passive. Allies will ignore 10% of the target's defense if the target's under freeze. But don't forget, if you put freeze on someone, then they take, I think it's 20% less damage. If the freeze debuff was placed by this champion, allies will ignore 20% of the target's defense instead. So it's almost like countering the fact that freeze does less damage, I guess. Maybe that's bigger. Speed in arena. I don't know. To avoid legendary, this one for me feels a bit like he's weakening the pool. What do you think? I mean, maybe I'm calling it wrong. He's got control. He's got ways to boost your team's damage. Everything he does hits all enemies, which is quite cool. Don't know, guys. What do you think on this guy? Anyway, that's it. 5 new champions coming. I guess it's coming tomorrow alongside the Fusion. So comment down below. Which would you most like to pick up? What do you think of the Fusion Epic? And are you going for Blizzard? Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.